Happy Monday, fabulous peeps. Happy Monday. So I want to get right into this. So it's Monday, it's Motivational Monday, Money Management Monday. So I'm going to include a whole bunch of this in this live. So I was having my devotion this morning. And as I was having my devotion, and I'm reading this book, Danny Johnson's Spirit Driven Success. And one of the sections that I was looking at was talking about what kind of servant are you? And it was coming from the book of Matthew, chapter 25. And so as it's talking about this, and I'm just reflecting, what type of servant are you? And so I want you to think about, sometimes it's hard to promote ourselves. But in order to get to the next level, you have to promote yourself, right? But you do it in such a way that you're giving value. And so most people don't know that how you serve is God is your promoter. First thing, God is your promoter. And as God is your promoter, right, and you're doing the work, you're doing the things that you need to do, because oftentimes as Christians we feel as though I'm going to pray, and I'm going to pray, ask God for favor, and then I'm going to watch God work. But God also says that faith without works is dead. So that means that something that we still have to do in order to get to the thing that God wants us to have, right? We can pray all we want to, right? Believe all we want to. And I believe in the power of prayer for sure. Because I always say, pray, plan, and believe, because God is still in the business of doing miracles. But God also goes on with saying faith without works is dead. And in order to be in this entrepreneur space, faith is essential to getting to the next level. And so I say this because God is your promoter, right? So you have to continue to work on yourself every single day, right? Keep developing yourself. Self-development is essential to your growth and to your wealth, because if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not growing, you're dying. And so with that, you got to do all you can do and keep going. Then leads me to number 2. It says you are your own ability, right? And so this is where the book of Matthew chapter 25 talks about the talents. And he the master gave each of his people talents, right? Money according to their ability, right? Some 5, some 2, some 1. And the one with the 5 double it. The one with the 2 double it. The one with the 1 plays scared, right? Because scared money makes no money. He buried it. So the master came back, was ready for the report, and was just like, okay, so what did you do with my money? Everybody gave the report. I doubled your money. The last one with the talent that he was given did nothing. And so that just helps me to reflect, what are you doing with your talent, with the gift that God has given you? How are you showing up? Are you playing scary because of the unknown? Or are you seeking out ways, people that can help you to get to the next level, right? Because you can only take yourself so far. But when you put yourself in the position of aligning and connecting with people who can help get you to the next level, is essential to your own ability, right? That means you are seeking out new knowledge, new skill sets, new ideas that's going to help you to get to the next level. Because as I said before, if you're not growing, you're dying. So you have to put yourself around individuals that can stretch yourself. I always say, and I heard when the first time I heard this statement, that a rubber band cannot stretch itself. The first time I heard that, and that was just like, absolutely, it needs somebody. It needs somebody to stretch them. And so same way that we need somebody to stretch, is to stretch our vision, to stretch our ideas, our concept, right? Be in a different environment, not outside of our norm, right? Be with people that's going to expand us, going to expand our thinking, expand our ideas. And so when I thought about this, I'm just like, wow, this is so important on our talent. And God does not give you your talent, your skills for you to sit down and go like this, right? Playing scared. He gives it to you because he knows that you have something to offer. And then number 3 says, can you pass the test? Let me tell you something. Whew, you talking about passing the test, and the test is not always easy, right? The test is rough. It's hard. Sometimes I feel like it's not ending. And I remember this particularly when, I share about my husband and myself and the challenge that we experienced. And I don't share it because it's like, I want to dwell on that. I share it because it's to encourage someone that life happens, but you can rebuild, right? Foreclosure, bankruptcy, being sued, all of that. Thinking that if life ended for me, I was going to be okay. That's how I felt at that particular time in that season of my life. But then there was a little sense of hope, right? The rain was coming down, but then there was a burst of the cloud opening up during that season, and where I really had to brush myself off, get myself together, okay, and get to the point that, you know what, this is not the end. This is the beginning. This is not the end. This is the beginning of something great. And so you set yourself, right, as you go through the test. I want you to be mindful that you go through the test. The rain doesn't rain all day, every day, right? The rain does stop. The test does stop, right? They're going to have to say, the prompter says, turn in your test, right? God says, turn in your test. Do your best and nothing less. If you do your best as you go through the test, you will come out on top. You will come out on top, but you have to know that you are going through, and it's not something that is it's permanent, it's temporary. It's temporary. Then you have to honor opportunities. God wants this, is sending opportunities. You prayed, you fast the whole 9 yards, and you're just like, no, that's not it. That's not it. Because it's not coming in the way that you think it should come. And when you're putting yourself, where you are submitting and surrendering yourself to the things of God, to the plan and purpose, your gifts, then you have to honor and be observant, right? And pray for discernment as well for those opportunities that's going to take you to the next level, and be mindful. And have that spirit of discernment, because opportunities come and go. You know, we've heard this story about the guy, the floods came, and he's on top of the house, right? He's on top of his house. The water has just continued to grow. The rescue people came, right? He's like, that's not what I'm waiting for. Somebody else came, he said, that's not what I'm waiting for. He gets up and he dies. And God said, I sent all these people to you, but you didn't want it. He says, oh, I didn't realize you were saying that for me. You prayed, you asked. You prayed and you asked. So God has given you all these skill sets, these abilities. How are you servicing others if you're like this? I don't know, God. I don't know if I could. Should I? Can I? Is that possible? Is that it? Oh, that's not how I asked for it. No, I don't think so. And then years, days, months, weeks pass by, and you're still in the same spot. You see what my shirt says? Like a boss. How are you doing yourself like a boss? And then the spirit of excellence. Wow. That everything you do, know that it's about serving others, right? And as you're serving others, there is nothing like doing it well and doing it good. Because what happens? They will start referring others. They will start suggesting others, because how you showed up in the spirit of excellence. And heaven forbid, God himself is your redeemer, right? God is a God of excellence. And so when you're a part of God, you are part of that excellence as well. Now, there's things that you're going to do that everybody's not going to be happy. You won't please everybody, and you're not for everybody. And that is okay. That is okay. That is okay. You continue to show up. You continue to show up. And I can tell you, even today, I was in the middle of in the meeting, and my internet stopped. Everything just cut out, and I was really getting on this. And it took a while, and it totally threw my day off. But I was determined that I was going to follow my schedule as close as possible. I said, I'm coming live. I like going live, right? I like, editing the videos and all that, and my assistants, but I like going live. I really, really do. And I said, I got to really get into the thing that really works for me. What you see is what you get. And so as I came back, and I said, I'm going live because I have to show up for that one person that needed that word, that encouragement, They've been hoping and praying, and they'd be like, I want to start a business. I want to start a home-based business, but I don't know where to start. Teacher Melanie, I've been doing so many things. I've been searching, but I still have not pulled the trigger. Right? I haven't booked that appointment or made that phone call or find out about that skill set. And I'm saying this to you today. Today is the day that you reach out. Today is the day that you go ahead and you find that information. Today is the day for you to get the information so you can do the implementation. So now you can execute with excellence so you can get paid. So you can design the life that you want. And I'm saying this because I've been there. First of all, I'm a woman of God. Hallelujah. Thank God for my shortcomings, that God continually works on me. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm an entrepreneur. And all those roles, sometimes it's rough trying to be all those things and manage all those things. But I'm always thankful for people in my corner that helps pull me along, that encourage me, that supports me, because I realize there's things I could not do by myself, honestly. I couldn't, to be able to really show up how I need to show up and do the things I can't. And I'm in constant work on myself. Hence why I read and pray and watch different videos or, things that's going to help propel me to get to the next level. Hence why I know how important accountability is. That is the biggest thing when it comes to getting to the next level, accountability, right? And I work with my clients. They have everything they need. They really do. But one thing they don't have is the accountability. Someone to say, okay, listen, this is what you need. This is where you are. This is what needs to happen. All right, you're doing good. No, that's not, stop right there. Oh, okay, keep moving forward. When you have that accountability, let me tell you, sky's the limit. Because you hate to disappoint that person, right? And in the process, you disappoint yourself. But when you are at a stage where I need someone to tell me, go to the left, go to the right, go up, go down. Especially if you're a mom, or you're a mom that used to work outside of home, like myself in corporate America. And you're the one always making decisions. Sometimes you just need someone to help you to make that decision. So I'm going to encourage you today. Okay, what kind of servant are you? How are you going to serve your people? Right? How are you going to serve your people? Love it. Thank you. Change the way you're absolutely. How are you going to serve your people so that you can be the person that people need for you to show up in the marketplace? So you have to show up in the marketplace. You have to, first of all, change your mind, right? You show up in the marketplace by changing your mind, right? So I always tell my clients, you have to get out of your mind and into the marketplace. And don't think that everything has to be perfect, because perfection will paralyze you. Perfection will paralyze you. That's why I love going live. I love going live because it's what you see is what you get. There's no fluff, right? This is the truth, nitty gritty, in your face. Because I realize one thing about it. When you show up in your authentic self, that is what people are attracted to. They're attracted to see how you grow and how you develop in this journey of life, in this journey of entrepreneurship, if that's the plan, right? In this journey as a wife, as a mother, I talk about marriage and motherhood. How do you show up? How you show up for yourself that you can be the best version as a wife, as a mother. Absolutely. You have to speak things into existence with boldness and authority, because you know who God is, right? And that's what God says, right? He says, speak those things as though they were. He doesn't say, oh, speak it when you see it. He says, speak it, right? So you know it's already there. It's already done. That's why I talked about earlier how important it is to have faith, because he said faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. Faith is an action word. It is not a word that is dormant. Okay? It is an action, Jackson, right? Action, Jackson word, right? You have to do something. So just really encourage on that, right? On what has to happen. And so as we think about the spirit of excellence, I'm going to leave this last point with you, is that you have to trust the master. You know what I said? You have to trust the master. Trust the processor because the processor has you. You are part of the process. And so, like my shirt says, you have to show up like a boss. And I'm going to leave that to this, where this shirt is. So if you can see it, but it's with my little bulldog, American bulldog. That's where I got it from. You can show up like a boss, right? So you have to trust your master. You have to trust him. And I know sometimes it's so hard to surrender to God, right? Because we get scared. We don't think that he doesn't know, he doesn't understand. And I'm telling you that he does. And it wasn't until a few years some years ago, when I was wanting my children, and it was truly a devastating time because I'm like, oh, everybody else is having children. When is going to be my turn? And I was always mopey and sad and didn't want to be around anybody, really in a very depressed state. And it wasn't until I made a decision that, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm going to enjoy the journey. I'm going to enjoy where I am right now. It wasn't until I made that decision and totally surrender, right? Totally surrender, be obedient to God, that I said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. When I did it, it was such a burden. Now, everything wasn't perfect, right? But it was such a burden that was lifted off of me to the point where I was like, you know what? If I have children or not, I'm going to be good. I'm not going to be good, but I'm going to be great. And it wasn't until I made that decision and I'm walking this thing out. I'm praying, I'm encouraging the whole 9 yards, myself and others. So God will put people in my path who are going through the same thing. And I will tell them. And it wasn't until then when I released. Okay? Absolutely. It wasn't until then when I made that release. So I like what you said, Craig, that you cannot overthink. Allow you it is such a lifestyle. It really is. It is such a lifestyle. And I can tell you, when you totally surrender, when you get to that point of obedience, right? And not carrying that thing, because first of all, he says that his yoke is easy and his burden is light. So he wants you to cast all those cares and burdens onto you. Really and truly. And God desires for you to prosper. And prosperity is not just money. That's spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially. Yes. Wealth. That's a total package, because that's how God works in excellence, as I talked about before. So, my fabulous piece, I hope this was encouraging to you on this Motivational Monday. Right? Later on, I'll talk a little about money, because I have something that I want to share with you. But I wanted to share that with you first and foremost. So with that being said, like I always say, remember to pray, plan, and believe, because God is still in the business of doing miracles. Make it a great day. Bye, fabulous.